We've been getting asked lots of questions about lots of things to do with coronavirus, and particularly with the government support that's available to small businesses. So I thought I'd jump on a video and just talk through some of the really common questions we're being asked, particularly around furlough, which is what seems to be coming up time and time again today with myself and my team when we're speaking to our clients. So furlough is, as I'm sure most of you are aware, been announced by the government as a means of laying off staff without making them redundant. So for a period of time, you can stand staff down through furlough and pay them, still pay them their wages. That can be reimbursed by government up to 80% of the wages, capped at £2,500. So the specific questions we've been getting around this, and in no particular order, I'll just run through them. First question: I'm a director of my own company. Can I furlough myself? We don't know. The guidance isn't really clear. However, we think it would be very hard for a director to prove that they're not working in the business during the furlough period, because there'll still be decisions to be made and admin to be taking place and planning to be going through. So that might change, but that's our take on it at the moment. Generally, no, directors wouldn't usually qualify. Second, do I need to pay the 20% top up if I furlough workers? No. So you can pay the 80%. You do need to make sure all the appropriate paperwork is in place. So you need to have communicated to your employees that they're on furlough and negotiate with them. So make them aware that they will be getting an 80% pay cut, 20% pay cut, and they'll be getting 80% of their wages. They may not agree to that, and they may argue that actually they're entitled to redundancy. We're not HR lawyers, so we can't give any advice beyond that. But our understanding is yes, so long as it's agreed with your employee, and we would recommend that that's documented and signed by both yourself and your employee. How do I get paid from the government if I furlough staff? This is still to be announced. We believe that you'll pay it to your staff first. You'll pay their wages and then claim it back through a separate process, but that's still being worked out. When will the first furlough payment be received? Don't know, still to be announced. Do I need to pay them on the payroll and then claim it back? To be announced. So we don't yet know if you can hold off payment to staff and wait for the furlough, or if you pay it now and then claim it back later. Is the 80% that the government will reimburse inclusive of employers and pension contributions, employers' national insurance and pension contributions? To be announced. We don't know at this stage. Can I backdate my payroll and uplift people's salaries? No. I've taken on a new employee. Can I furlough them? No, they would have needed to be an employee as at the 29th of February 2020. Under furlough, can I reduce people's hours by a percentage and claim that back from the government? No. Can I mean, we've been asked all of these questions, and they're all valid questions. Can I furlough for a month, then unfurlough for a month, and then furlough again? This hasn't been explicitly stated, but we anticipate that the answer would be no. What do I need to do to furlough an employee? Negotiate with the employee. So I've sort of briefly mentioned this before. Negotiate with them if you're planning to reduce their wages down to 80%. Obviously inform them and communicate with them. They may prefer redundancy, so that would be a negotiation to have with them. If they have been with the company more than 2 years, then if redundancy is an option, then you would be looking to pay redundancy pay. And paperwork, make sure you've got whatever is agreed in writing, signed by both yourself and the employee, and their agreement that that's not been enforced to change their contract. It's been actually agreed. Can my employees work when they're furloughed? Nope. Can employees complete job-related training when in the furlough period? So I don't believe this has been explicitly stated, but we would say if the company's paying for the training or providing resources for the training, then no, that would be part of work, so they wouldn't technically be furloughed. However, if they're undertaking their own personal development and they're doing that off their own back and they're not using company resources to do it, then we don't see why that would be an issue. So that covers the bulk of the questions that we're getting asked. Obviously, if there's anything else that we've missed, get in touch and we'll tell you the answers if we have them. Otherwise, I hope that's been helpful. Thank you.